Okay. Okay, so I think we are ready to start. So warm welcome from my side. Thanks for joining this session today. So my name is Thorsten Spielmann, SAP, and I'm Head of Product Management for Business and Data Transformation Solutions. So today I would like to introduce a solution which comes along with your Cloud ALM tenant. It's all about data transformation. Precisely, it's about the transition from SAP ECC to SAP S/4HANA with the lean selective data transition scenario, which is part of the SAP Business Transformation Center. So I'm also happy to have Oliver Bernzau from our partner All for One with us. He will later share some insights about All for One and also about their first experience with our SAP Business Transformation Center in a customer project. So, I think you know all this. Would be nice to use the hashtag here for your social media posts. So let's jump directly now into this topic of transition here. First, just to set the context here a little bit about the different transition paths and how we position here this lean selective data transition scenario. So there are three equally important transition paths to SAP S/4HANA. There's the system conversion where you move all the data with all the configuration you have as is in a conversion to SAP S/4HANA. So it means there's no redesign. It's really an upgrade-like process. Keep all data. The opposite is the new implementation, where you start from scratch, new processes, best practices, load the master data and open items, and you really start fresh with a new configured system. And therefore, we have, for the system conversion, a software update manager from SAP, and for the new implementation, we have the SAP S/4HANA migration cockpit. In between, there was in the past more, it was from SAP point of view, it was a service offering. For example, I worked in this area, I think 23 years, so 23 years of experience in the data transformation topic. And so there's a service approach available, but there was no standard product available from SAP for this middle way, where you can really selective, so choose some data and select this data and move this to the new environment to S4. So it builds the bridge between the both other scenarios, and at the end, you are quite flexible in regards to customer requirements. As mentioned at the beginning, we call it lean selective data transition because, to be honest, we are very close to the system conversion at this point in time. So the current focus is really the reduction of data. It's not transforming, bringing in new processes, whatever. This is actually not covered. So the baseline we released now is closed to the system conversion, and as mentioned, with the option to reduce the data footprint, to build also here from a data point of view, clean core, a baseline for the new system, and eliminate all data which is not relevant for the business anymore. So overall, what's the goal now of the SAP Business Transformation Center? So we would really like to reduce the complexity and speed up the migration projects here with guidance from SAP, and we want to simplify this way to the S/4HANA. This means we really accelerate here the transition path and provide a safeguarded way that we really can lower the total cost for implementation. So if we speed up the process in a let's say, reliable and repeatable manner, then we reduce the costs for implementation and we speed up then the transition. So the overall, the TCI reduction will be the result. And this will be offered with the cloud service subscription, SAP Enterprise Support, or RISE with SAP. So we are built on top of SAP Cloud ALM. This means we also follow here the terms of use of SAP Cloud ALM. So at the end, if you check then what's necessary for a transition, I think there are always repeatable patterns, yeah, which are valid for all kind of transitions. So independent if it's now ECC to S4 or also to other solutions, at the end you have to start with getting access to the system, get information out of the system, get insights, profile the system, so which data is in the system, what's used, and based on this profile, you define the scope for your transition, and also you will make then at the end the deployment based on the scope. Yeah? At the end of a deployment or migration, we always have the phase for confirm correctness. So at the end, you have to ensure that the data is correct in the system and also complete. And overall, you always somehow need an orchestration layer which guides you through all these steps. And with the SAP Business Transformation Center, we have this all in one place, so there's no jumping around between different tools. It's really a central tool on Cloud ALM where you can really start from getting the insights of the system, migrating the data, and at the end validate the data, everything from one place without any jumping around different tools. Yeah. At the end, what we've learned from our customer, that what drives us at the end, the customers demand much more guidance from SAP as the software vendor. Yeah. They need to move faster to the new solution with really reduced complexity, and at the end, at best case, no additional fee. This means at least for the tooling to SAP S/4HANA, they don't want to pay more money. So as you know, the SAP S/4HANA Migration Cockpit and also the Software Update Manager are also for free. So now we can really cover these three different approaches, transition paths, with an offering with no additional fee. So at the end, the result should be really a reliable result and also repeatable. So an expected outcome should be the result for this. And also here, yeah, overarching goal is really to lower the cost for the implementation. So let's just quickly jump through the different phases. Yeah. So if we are in this get access phase, yeah, at the end we access the system, we extract the usage profile of the system, and we provide this later to the Business Transformation Center to get the insights. Yeah? With the insights, for example, solution architects can really scope the system together with the business based on recommendations which will come with the Business Transformation Center. So data-driven insights, and it's an easy way to understand which data is used and which data is not relevant probably for the business anymore. Yeah? So you really get a full picture of your data and how it's used. So it's not about processes, it's really about the data profile. After having this scoping, yeah, there must be the translation of this blueprint. So we call it, the scoping is the digital blueprint. I will show later, yeah. And after this is done, there will be a translation of this blueprint automatically. So at the end, you will have really an implementation without doing any manual coding. It will be really derived automatically out of the blueprint. So all filter logics based on the selection you need, based on the digital blueprint, will be done automatically. Yeah? No manual effort anymore. And finally, also the data will be loaded. So there are different phases for this loading activity. First of all, you start with the pre-validation to check is everything in place, starting with are all connections okay, is the target system set up probably according to the requirements. There will be a check also if the target system is empty. There are checks different, yeah, to ensure that the system is ready for the data load. Then you run the data migration execution, means at the end, so really push the button and move the data from the ECC system to the SAP S/4HANA system. And after that, there are some post-migration activities necessary to adapt the data according to the new structure in SAP S/4HANA. So this will all be done on a technical level, yeah. But we will reuse the functionalities out of the software update manager to use here also really the standard approach. Yeah? So it's really straightforward. Push the data to the target, convert the data in the target to the right structures, and this will be done with this deployed data phase. Yeah? At the end, as mentioned, there are some reconciliations necessary, so we are integrating tools, standard reports from LOBs to verify the data. Are the figures, for example, in FI still the same? Are they correct? Is there a difference in between? Is the data correct? Do we have the result that we really have the same amount of data in source and target? And in addition, there's something which is actually in progress, also to automate the testing here. Yeah? So for end-to-end tests. And for sure, if we do all these steps for the migration, we need this orchestrator in the middle, which at the end helps to manage the cycles. For sure, migration runs in several test cycles. It's not only one shot, yeah. So you have first test, second test, and dry run, and go live. So this will be all managed here. Also the monitoring of the migration. So where are we? How far is the progress? And also the landscape management will be handled here. Here we reuse also Cloud ALM capabilities. So the landscape, the LMS of Cloud ALM to connect the systems. So all will be here governed from the Business Transformation Center from one central place. At the end, so we always follow a proven project methodology. So first phase is the blueprint, which defines the data for the transition project. So here, solution architects will design, and together with the business, which data is relevant. As the next one, we have the implementation part. As mentioned, the result is a transformation, so-called transformation model. So here, based on the design of the blueprint, we will automatically derive the implementation. And at the end, as mentioned before, we have the test cycle 1, 2. So we have a dress rehearsal, and we have to go live. So this always follows the same approach, same procedure here. Yeah. Independent now, for sure, this is not fixed with the test cycles. Based on the complexity, you can have more or less. This is, let's say, the best practice. 2 test cycles, dry run, go live. So a little bit more detail. So it all starts with the digital blueprint. So starting with the digital blueprint is very fast. Yeah, you can really start without connecting already systems to the Cloud ALM. Yeah, that's so. The first step is really to run the readiness check for usage and data profiling in the SAP ECC system. You extract the file and upload it here. Yeah. Some people say, okay, why do I have to do this now manually? It looks a little bit old-fashioned, yeah. But you know, it's really, I think, in an early stage of a project, it's much faster than already start discussing with basis team. I need now this cloud connection to the ECC system, whatever, yeah. So this takes some time, yeah. And I think at this point of time, it's not necessary. If you do the initial scoping, first discussions with the business, you can really have this quick start with this file. So it's by purpose. It's not so for yeah. Why do we have to do this upload now manually? Yeah? It's really, from our point of view, a quick start. Yeah. And after uploading this readiness check file, you can really see already which data is there. So which companies are in use, what technical objects are used, how many open items do I have. You will see everything based on this file and can already start discussions with the business. At the end, it's a central place, one digital platform for the blueprint, so it's a single source of truth for your project, and you will not send Excels, whatever around the organization. It's really one central place where you can access this information. You can document it at the end also. And finally, you have to confirm the scoping decisions. It's possible to comment also for the audit at the end. It's all there, and you can afterwards even extract it as a PDF if you want to have the final confirmation documented also in outside the Cloud ALM, outside the Business Transformation Center. So if you go to the Launchpad in Cloud ALM, you see a tab at the top. It's called Transformation. And there, for the digital blueprint, the first part is the scoping area. Yeah? You will see there's the Manage Analysis file to upload the file. Then you create a digital blueprint. You select company codes. You have a look at the transformation objects in use. And as a next step, you run a system scan. This is the first time where you connect the system, because then, for example, custom development will be also enriched, so set tables, all this third-party stuff will all be then also added to the blueprint. And you can also select here then the relevant data which should be taken over. Just tomorrow there's a live demo session, so that's why we have just screenshots today. Yeah? So you'll see here the digital blueprint, just an example. You see the countries. You will see here. You see the company codes. When was the last activity in the company code? How big is the data account there? And you can even jump deeper at the end per company code to see how many open items. How's that the distribution over over the last 10 years of the data? So you can really see details how the system is used. And here at the end, you have the overview, and you see here, for example, there are now only 2 company codes out of 10 in scope, so 8 are out of scope, and you will immediately also see the impact on your data footprint based on the different functional areas. So you see, normally, material management is heavily used. You see a project system area is not used that much, but you also see now with the gray part, the gray part is the reduced part of the data footprint at the end. And overall, we save now 40% of the data of the system size now for the migration. Only 60% of the running system will be moved to SAP S/4HANA. So after we have now this quick start with the scoping decisions, and we confirm now this blueprint, there will be immediately the translation of the blueprint. So this means it's really, so in the past, there was an Excel document, a Word document with the blueprint, and then the migration experts start to implement, create selections manually, so really coding, or apply mappings, define filter rules. This will be all done really just by pushing a button. And there will be really this ready-to-go implementation model will be derived, So it's really no code, So no manual activities necessary, And at the end, if you have this transformation model, you can also then fix this one with a version. This is then the baseline for the migration. It's also used for audit purposes to really have this immutable version available, So at the end, you see here also there's now this modeling area for the transformation model. Just by create a transformation model, you define, based on the blueprint, you define the objects. This will be now really generated a model, apply also filters based on your selection. So company code plant filter, which are relevant for your company code selection, will be automatically added. And you even could then go deeper and see on which, if you are interested in, on which field level are this filter applied, whatever. But this is just for information. There's nothing needed to add here or to do manually here. You see here also, you see the filters which are available, for example, for company code, for plant. And you can see, for example, the company codes filter here now, or for these 4 company codes, we have now filtered, defined, that we only want to use these company codes. At the end, after having this version, so this fixed stable transformation model, we go into the cycle phase, where we really now do this, as mentioned before, this pre-validation. So we create a cycle. You see here the pre-validation. There's a check about, okay, are all components available? All nodes are there? Is the target system a shell system? This will be all checked here. Are the tables empty? If not, you have to check up front and clean this up, yeah? This will be all done up front before you then, at the end, push the button and say, okay, now run the cycle. And then you can really drill down this even on table level, yeah, how many data entries are transitioned already. At the end is nothing you have to monitor during the execution. It's really push the button and wait at the end of for the result, yeah. So if there are some errors, for sure you have to investigate, but it's not something you have to statically monitor, yeah, and to be really always aware of, yeah. After the migration is done, we have this execution of these post-process items. This is what I mentioned before, to say, okay, adopt the data according to the structures in SAP S/4HANA. So also here, this is for information at the end. You push the button and say, okay, now run, and all these steps will be pushed through automatically. And you will also have then some detailed results if something runs on error, if you have to investigate, or if it's all done. In this case here, you see everything is done from the status, no problems at all. Yeah. So at the end, what are the key takeaways regarding this? So you get really fast onboarding, yeah, on a cloud-based solution. Yeah, you get this solution with Cloud ALM. Sorry. You get a jump start with the blueprinting. It's really quick, even in an early stage of your project. Maybe even if you don't know, maybe if the selective transition is the right approach, or the conversion, or maybe at the end even a new implementation, you get really fast insights at the end for free. You can really see how is the data used, and maybe at the end, if the decision is let's take over all data, maybe a system conversion is better, yeah. So this is really, you get really fast into these decisions. Yeah. You also can really automatically implement. So this no-code is very important, because each manual activity, each manual effort is always error-prone somehow. So it's really safeguarded here. And it allows you, after this implementation, really fast a first test migration. Maybe Oliver will also mention later something about this. You can really start early, fast, and you get first insights, yeah, out of this test cycle. So it's really between the scoping, the implementation, and the first test run, it's really a fast process, yeah. And for sure, it's really guided and safeguarded. It's not an open SLO expert tool. You can do everything you want. It's really, there are some boundaries for sure. Actually, it's only the company code selection and the flexibility to remove, for example, own development, so set tables and the stuff. But so we will always guide and safeguard here this execution, because it's a public available product. Everybody at the end can use it, yeah. So it's not that we can really offer here this SLO expert tool. And you will get it for free with your RISE with SAP or enterprise support contract. Yeah, also very important. Yeah, and for sure, it's come with Cloud ALM. So just an overview. There's a QR code for the landing page in the support portal for get more details, videos, and all this stuff. Yeah, quick start guides. So the lean selective data transition scenario is released in May this year. So announced at Sapphire. And as mentioned before, the first scope now for the first release is really this reduced data scope based on company codes. But for sure, we don't want to stay that lean. Yeah? So this means we want to enrich here further capabilities, yeah, for this selective transition. So the next one, which actually is planned for end of this year, is the time slice. So this is we have a big demand. So independent if it's user groups, customers, partners, the time slice is really a topic which is has a high demand. So it means beside the option to select single company codes, you can also select or cut the data and say, just take over the last couple of years. Maybe if you want to keep some historical data closed or data, but you don't want to keep the last 20 years, then this is an option to use the time slice. We want to extend the verification, so this confirm correctors part will be extended. Yeah. We have as the next block, we have this chart of account unification, which also then at the end serves as baseline for this account to ledger approach. So these are the 4 building blocks actually, which we have on the public roadmap for BTC, and we want to provide here really more value. And I think with this package already, we have a lot of value we can offer here to our customers and partners. Yeah. With that, I would say I would hand over to Oliver. Yeah, welcome, Oliver.
Thank you,
and
Thorsten.
You want to share some insights, yeah? Thanks.
Yes, hello everybody. I also wish you a warm welcome from my side. My name is Oliver Bernsau. I'm a director at All for One, and I'm responsible for all the operative conversions at the All for One in the past years. I started with my first conversion 2017, and since there we do the conversions to all these S/4HANA stuff. A few words to All for One. All for One is the hugest partner in Germany of the SAP. We have 3,000 customers, one of them you know perhaps. We are in the middle class. Our industries, I show you later, we are in 8 countries. Have a SAP, Microsoft and IBM portfolio. Our international approach we do with the United VARs. Is a common close of value-added resellers all over the world, and we have 2,800 experts with all our know-how. I have not so long time. We are the number 1 for turning technology into business success. You can have these slides afterwards, I think. We are located in these 8 countries. And our core industries are manufacturing, consumer products, trade construction industry, professional services, life sciences, and food and beverage. Some figures. We start normally our projects with a discovery approach. I show you a slide later what is the discovery and what we are thinking about. We have done 69 conversion projects, brown, blue, and with BTC, but the BTC isn't, we are working on. 19 greenfield projects, and we have 52 go-lives till now in the last 2 years with conversions, only conversions, brown and blue. The most of it were blue, some of it were brown, and 14 greenfield go-lives in the last 2 years. SAP said we are the S/4HANA conversion champion. No one has brought more companies from ECC to S/4HANA than us. And we have the highest SAP Cloud Solution revenues among all sub-partners in Central Europe. So we are the cloud champion actual, that you can rate us a little bit. How do we think the path into S/4HANA? There is a change, and we think we have to think about strategy development. What do we need to look at now to be able to shape the future? We are turning technology into success, business success. The roadmap, how can we achieve our goal safely? the conversion project, how do we risk-free into the new world? And the operation and service, how do we operate the IT in the future, for example, in a data center or at home, on-prem, or with RISE? And how can we do this permanent innovation that SAP brings us from year to year? How can we handle it? To find the best way to S/4HANA, we are providing our discovery packages. As a technical transformation discovery, we identify the fast track to S/4HANA, or a process transformation, the customer would like to change some processes, for example, or would he like to do a business transformation discovery? He would like his business model and transform his business model into new things. This is our discovery packages, and out of this discovery, we decide what is the right way for the customer from ECC to S4. Is it the brownfield approach? Is it the bluefield approach? Or new, is it the BTC approach? Or is it, for example, a greenfield approach? And this work together with the customer. To our customer, we started after this discovery with our customer with a classical update project with a brownfield approach. The discovery said, best for you will be a bluefield approach. But he saw these costs and said, no, I don't have this money for this approach, and I start with a classical brownfield approach. You have done it much more before, and I think you are the best partner to bring us from ECC to S4. We started the project, and within this project, SAP releases the BTC, and we asked the customer, hey customer, would you like to do this way with a BTC approach with us? And he said, I don't have a problem with the go live date, I have no risk, and if the SAP is behind you, I'm not afraid, we can do this in this way. Okay, said, done. We started, we are in this brownfield, we were in this brownfield approach, and we changed our approach because of the things we have done before, we need also for this approach. For example, the implementation of the business partner, we have to do with the bluefield approach. We mustn't do it. We can do it in a one-step approach, but here we have to implement it before. We have done it, and we said, no problem. In May, SAP launches the BTC. We asked the customer said, yes, of course, sure, we do it. We are working on this, and then we started. And as you see here in this test, we have all done, the knowledge of the All for One is in the best practices. How we come, it's not so easy as Thorsten told us. We push the button, we bring this ECC system, we have the S4 system, and all the data are going into S4. We have done a lot of work before with workshops, best practices. We bring in with a lot of experience of the last years, and what is the best way to implement the business partner, the change of the finance, and so on. The handle these simplification items, and we have all best practices of it. There is no problem. We have implemented the business partner. We have to do the custom code adaptation, data cleansing, FECO preparation, and so on. Work on these simplifications, and there's S4 configuration, and then we started with the first cycle. Yes, All for One has a digital transformation center in Poland. There are all these guys who are working on this bluefield transformation and building up this rule set and so on, and the consultants in Germany are the same. We started with it. We started with SAP with this test program with two partners from Germany. We are one of two partners in this partnership and this program, and we test till last year the software, and we supported SAP a little bit to do it very better. Now it's a very good quality. We started the first cycle, and I will tell you some slides. I will share with you some insights of this first cycle, we have done, and we were a little bit afraid, is the quality good or what will it be, and can we hold this go live date in December as planned? I think we will. Experiences with the customers. The preparation of migration cycles can be done by one person. As Thorsten told us before, after all system connections from source and target system are implemented by basis administration. This was our biggest thing we worked on these connections between the customer. He has much security layers and so on. It was a little bit tricky, but now it works. For handling of issues and errors during migration, functional consultants are needed. We need it for customizing, adjustment, and so on. Migrations consultants are less needed. As Thorsten told us before, we don't need any migration consultant. We push the button and the data run from ECC to S4. Current errors for first migration cycle were mostly connection issues. These were our problems. Or FI settings, and could be proceed fast together with SAP and functional consultants by all for one. Yes, we have agreement with SAP. They stand by us for some beginning projects, and we work very close together on these issues who appears, but it works perfect. And scoping is very user-friendly and can be done with the latest version for company codes and set objects. Actual, as Thorsten told us, option for scoping with time slices will come in the future. Thank you, Thorsten. Set objects can be scoped on table level easily. We said, would like this data? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Optimization of migration runtime is possible by analyzing the result of migration. Errors can be resolved for the next migration cycle. For example, for taking them out of scope or correct them in source system. System parameters are mainly responsible for a good migration performance. Yes, we learned it also from S&P and our Bluefield approach in the past. Basis administration has to do the most possible parameters before. Cycles can be accelerated also with optimizing parameters, CPU batch processes, and so on. It's the same then in the Bluefield approach. First migration results. Runtime if the first cycle is too long. Yeah. It was a long time for the first cycle. Yes, this is absolutely normal. And we are working on some coding together with SAP and on these parameters I told you before. System parameters were adjusted due to low performance, and a high reduction of runtime is expected for the next migration cycle. Yes, the machine has to be a little bit bigger than before. We only had 10 issues in the first migration cycle, all of them related to empty tables, which after analysis were also empty in source system and therefore could be ignored. And customer tests just started, and amount of defects can be estimated for now, but actual it seems to be very low. The S4 Fin customizing faced some more issues, but after a review together with SAP, every issue could be solved or even ignored. Customer accepted the result of balances. This was the first productive run cycle at the customer from BTC, right, Thorsten? It's a great thing we can see here. After pre-checks of our functional consultants, no errors were found in the system and could be handed over to the customer. From our point of view, I think the BTC is a tool for these customers who think about a brownfield approach. It's much more faster. You get very good quality from the first day on. You have your S4 system, and from our point of view, we are a big partner of S&P. With the Bluefield approach, we will hold on this partnership and work on the customers who would change the processes and all these things in the future. And I think both of it will be our future and the future of All for One, S&P and SAP. Thank you very much. Q&A session. Have you any questions of Thorsten's or my words.
This Business Transformation Center is only for the transaction data or also for the configuration and master data?
It's master data and transactional data. The configuration comes with creating the target system via a shell approach. So there will be an empty shell created from the ECC system with the configuration and a repository, and this empty system will be converted to S4. So that the configuration is already there, but the master data and the transactional data will be moved, independent if it's closed already, if it's partially processed, or if it's new, open, everything will be moved then based on selection. I think.
Thank you for the presentation. I'm not a migration specialist, but I'm in touch with them in the projects. I have two questions. Number one, is this also feasible for non-SAP legacy systems?
No.
Okay.
This is really an SAP.
And the second question is, again, I'm not a migration specialist. Our migration procedures always migrate various times into QA clients. Data is validated, and when all the migration runs are successful, we're going to apply this in production. Is this a methodology that would also work here? Because in the end, you just mentioned you had a productive run with success. Otherwise, I missed this before, but like these migration runs are tested in QA, or?
Yeah, I think I showed before with this methodology. Normally, you run several test cycles, and so only the last migration is the final productive cutover, and the test cycles can be also used then, for example, to build up your dev or your quality system.
So like these four cycle runs are. The last one is in production. The other ones, all right. Yes. Okay, thank you very much. I missed that.
We have it, for example, here, the first run. We do this validation, and the first test, it's only a functional test. Normally in our second cycle, we have all these error corrections and so on. We do the second cycle, and there is a big integration test with all the processes. As much as you test, you can test. You should test, you must test. Yes, if all your functions run in S4, and we have the validation procedures of the BTC that validates the balances and so on. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Hello. Your first functional tests, did you do them with manual input, or did you do the functional test with the first migration of former productive data?
No, our functional test will be done after the migration, the data from the ECC in the S4 system. Normally we only have this ECC system, we do all the customizing needed for the sum, then we do the sum, then we have an empty S4 system with all your customizing, and then we put in with one click the data into this new system, and then we can test and work with your normal productive data. We doesn't do it from the productive system in the first 3 cycles. We do it from an extra system called source export system. We need this as a copy from your productive system, and as later as possible it is, we have the actual data into your S4 system.
Okay, so when you detect any defects, you have to decide, do they come from the functional side or do they come from the data side?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The question was, which one is faster? Because in the previous years there was a landscape transformation which you were installing on the solution manager, right? So you were taking the source system, the data was going through the solution manager and then to the target system?
So the Cloud LM, so the Business Transformation Center on Cloud LM is only orchestrating. There's no, so also for security reasons, there will be no extract of data from your productive system to the cloud and then from there back to the S4 system. It's really only orchestrating, so pushing the data then. There will be direct connection between ECC and S4 to move the data then, yeah. So no data will be stored beside this analysis from the readiness check in the cloud.
Via RFC connection.
That's
Direct from system to the new
So
system.
the connection between Cloud ALM and ECC and S4 is via OData, but the data will be moved via RFC between ECC and S4. If there are no further questions, just one remark. There's a nice document. I'm pretty sure most of you already know it. So this mapping your journey to SAP S/4HANA. So it's a new release, I think available since a couple of years. Since June, it's new available now. So you will also find a lot of topics about clean core, about the different transition paths, Cloud ALM, Signavio, all this stuff. So I can really recommend, and you can really just scan the QR code, download the PDF version, no registration necessary, direct download PDF. So no data will be collected, so no registration process necessary. And also there's a new topic page for the topic of data transition and transformation. So you will find a lot of videos, a very nice end-to-end demo for our Business Transformation Center from our CPO. So it's really nice. You will find all this stuff also with blogs here at the topic page of the SAP community. Also here with the QR code you will find it, yeah. I think that's it then from our side. So if there are no other topics.
One more question about the runtimes. You said the first runtime was very long, and then you optimized it from on the source part, on the gathering part or export part. If there are very many data to export, especially master data, we often divide the migration step in two steps. For the production migration, we first put the master data, which is long running, and at the cutover weekend or so on, then we take the open issues and so on. Is it possible with this approach to divide it? Which data can be transported or migrated in the first step, and then the remaining data is migrated in the second step on the production?
Actually, this is a one shot, yeah. So yeah. Actually, yeah. But normally, also that Oliver reported here with the runtime, this is often a topic really of optimizing the connections, yeah. Especially in RFC, you have a lot of parameters where you can really optimize the performance. And I think that's, you can do there a lot. And we have really, via this RFC, on table level, we have a really high data throughput normally, yeah. So high performance. So normally, if this is not for sure, if you have now a 20 terabyte system, then we have to talk about other solutions, yeah. But in general, this is really high performance, yeah. Okay, I think we are.
I would like to say thank you to our presenters. This was the last session for today, and but do not leave yet, because food and drinks are served understairs.